camera's a little too low. Let me fix it. Okay, let's see. Oh, now it's real crooked. Still there? Okay. Hey everyone! Let's try this again. Now it's too high. I need a step stool. Penny, quiet. Okay. Okay. There we go. Hey guys. That'll work. Thank you. Is that Carolyn or Caroline? Caroline? However we pronounce it. Hi guys. Hi Steffi. Thank you. Let me get this up so I can see. We're making some cupcake macarons today. Hi David, thanks so much. It happened to fall on my birthday, a live day. Okay. Soaring Eagle Sweets, hello, thank you so much. Eric, thank you guys. I'm excited for this. Yay, Jamie, thanks for being here. Hello. I think that's someone's phone. Oops. Okay. Happy birthday. Thank you, Jen. We are making cupcake macarons. So I made these a long time ago, 2019, and I just kind of drew this template. If you're part of my newsletter, then you got an actual template that's like computer generated, and I send it out to you guys. Just make sure that with that template, you do the inverse if you end up doing like the frosting tip to go one way. Then make sure when you're doing the back side of your macaron, the one that's gonna pair up with your front shell, just make sure you do the inverse and you have some of your frosting going this way or that way. Or you could just easily bring it up straight so you don't have to worry about the tip. Like this one I drew out is straight up and down. But it is a little, it's not super symmetrical since I drew it, but hey, it works. That's why I got the printed one out, but then I couldn't find it and it was too late to print, so we're doing it this way. Hi Nina. Happy birthday, says Candace. Thank you so much. Ryan, thank you. I have a question. Can you bake macarons in a gas oven? RPCM, for sure you can. I have a gas oven here that I'll be baking in for some of my batch. And then I also just got this electric little toaster oven that I'll be using, so both work. But gas works, you just have to figure out the nuances of your oven, and it takes a little practice. All right, guys. It's 1. It's time to start. So we're making cupcake macarons, as I said. I showed the little template, and I'm gonna do some in my convection oven. If you guys have watched my lip macaron video from around, I think it was from around Valentine's Day, then you saw that you can put, let me try to get this out. Then you probably saw that you can pipe royal icing on your macarons and then bake them. So it helps because then you don't have to wait for your macarons to cool, and then add your royal icing decor, and then wait for them to dry again, and it just takes a long time. So I was practicing and I got it to work, but I had to dry my macarons for an extra amount of time, just like when you're doing batter on top of batter for different designs. You should wait till it completely dries so you don't have cracks where you put that batter on top of the other batter. Anyways, today I'm gonna try no rest. So I'm gonna pipe on some sprinkles I made some royal icing. I'm gonna pipe on some sprinkles on top of our macaron frosting and then put them directly in. And if they crack, it's gonna stink, but we tried. I wanna see with this convection oven how much we can push, saving time, and how much we can just pop everything in, or if we still need to obey the rules of macarons and rest them, right? So I will be doing those on my small sheet tray, and then I'll have a large sheet tray with whatever batter I have left, and I'll put some on and rest them properly. But I might have to rest them for like 40 minutes, so we might not see that tray end up baked. We'll see. All right, let's get started. Thank you, Jan. Thanks everyone for the birthday wishes. They don't need to be symmetrical. Yeah, exactly, David. They don't need to be like perfection, right? Symmetrical. They're too cute. And then you put the frosting in the middle, and then you sandwich them together, and you can't even tell that they're not exactly matching up. Okay, we've got just my regular recipe today, and we are going to be splitting the batter into two and making, I'm gonna do yellow for vanilla, because I love vanilla cake, and pink frosting. So I'm gonna split my batter and do yellow and vanilla. This is the Sugar Art Sunshine, and then, let me see if this is even open. Oh no, it's not. Chef Master Rose Pink. So I feel like this rose pink is really similar to if you have Sassy Pink from the Sugar Art. They are very much the same kind of tone. So if you don't have a gel coloring, you can use your powdered for sure. Sorry guys, I want to do this before I get my meringue waiting for me. My apologies. Ugh. Okay, so we're gonna do yellow and pink, and then we'll add our frosting, which I made to be the colors of, I did some Sassy Pink sprinkle color, French blue sprinkles, and then yellow sprinkles and white. So that's all here. And you know what, if you didn't want to try royal icing, like if you have a ton of sprinkles in your sprinkle drawer, then you don't have to make royal icing. I just loved this when I was doing the specific type of, I was doing like Cupcake Queen. It's a Shopkin for my daughter, and it needed yellow and pink sprinkles, and it was awesome because I could custom make the sprinkles with royal icing. You could also just pipe out royal icing in lines, let it dry, and then chop it up, and you have made your own sprinkles, and you don't have to worry about piping them onto batter, macaron batter. Up to you, just I like to try it all, and we can see what works and what doesn't. All right. Thank you, Leah. Thank you guys so much for the birthday wishes. Okay, normal recipe, we are just scaling it down. 68% of my 100 grams of egg whites. So this is 68 grams of egg whites, 61 grams of sugar, 2 to 3 grams of egg white powder optional, and 88 grams of each confectioner sugar and almond flour. Let's get it. Thank you, hello. Once it's foamy, we're gonna pour in our sugar. And we're not gonna color the meringue because we're gonna separate the batter and color them separately. My egg white powder is in my sugar, so I'm adding it now. I'm just gonna wait until this mixture, or just gonna wait till the sugar's dissolved. Still granular. So I'm on low speed until that, and then I go up to medium speed. David, that's awesome. I'm so glad to hear it works well. Nothing better than not throwing away macarons, right? I hate wasting macarons with a bad oven. Dissolved, sugar is dissolved. I'm going to go up to 2. Thank you, Marla. Hi, Drew. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Now I can put you together. Thank you for letting me know. Oh my gosh. Sarnaz, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm feeling so loved. Oh, that stinks. David, that is like my nightmare. So we're just going to get this up to stiff peaks and then I'll talk again. Thank you, Susan. Leah, I'll answer your question about oven temp in 1 second. We're getting there. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Ovens can be our worst enemy, for sure. Starting to build on top of itself and keep the striations. So I'm going to check it soon and see where we're at. Pretty stiff. Just going to go a little bit longer. But we're almost there. Maybe like a minute more. feels like it's more stiff throughout the whole thing now, whereas before I just felt like it was stiff in the middle. So we are going to, I'm like overdoing it now. We're gonna go like 10 more seconds because I feel like I deflated it and that's not gonna help, but we're gonna go 10 more seconds. Just for peace of mind. Do you ever do that? Like, you get yourself in your head, like where you have to go a couple more seconds longer, or else, I don't know. Superstition? I don't know what you call it. Compulsion, maybe. All right. So, let's see. Aw, thank you so much, Carolyn. You're very sweet. Thank you. So this is nice and stiff. As you can see, it's holding its shape. And we're gonna start adding in our dries really slowly and carefully, and then we'll separate and do our color. And Leah was asking about the oven. I set my oven to preheat at 300, and then I drop it down to 275 when I'm using not an air bake tray. So with a regular aluminum tray in my gas oven, I drop my oven temperature down simply to keep my oven temperature around 290. That's for my gas oven. My gas oven tends to shoot up. As soon as I put a tray in, the pilot kicks on and thinks it needs to increase the temperature, because it kind of does. You open the door and it went down, and you added a colder element into your oven, so it lost a little bit of temperature. However, they're not that quick to stop the increased temperature, so your oven can shoot up. And mine would shoot up 25 degrees sometimes after I put my tray in. So I learned to decrease my oven temp. The pilot doesn't come on and it stays around 290. So that's what I do for my gas oven. And then my convection oven, it tends to lose, because it's so small, it loses the temperature quickly when I put my tray in. But then it continues to go off and on and regulates the heat a little bit better. So I will just drop it down to 275, but it still stays around, because it can only go by 15 increments in here. So I drop it down to 275 because it's convection, and convections can bake really fast. So I don't want it to bake too fast where my feet are developing really big and then all of the batter comes out. So I like a lower and slower bake. So just adding those dries in and incorporating them fully. Again, Caroline, thank you so much. That was very sweet of you. I'm going out after this. Okay. So here we go. I'm tumbling that in so I can make sure my dries are incorporated fully. And then this is when I split my batter. All my dries are in. I don't see any loose bits of confectioner sugar or almond flour. And I'm going to split half of my batter in here and do my colors. It's your dog's birthday today. That's amazing. Both of our dogs' birthdays are in November, and we always forget to celebrate them. We celebrate them every day, is that what we say? Okay, so I'm just gonna do, for this design, I use about the same amount of frosting to base of the cupcake, so I'm just gonna do equal amounts pretty much, and then color each one. All right, we'll start with yellow, Sunshine from the Sugar Art. If you are buying like new fall colors or diamond dust, you can use Baked Toujours. I don't want it to be too bright. I might have added too much because I want it to look more like vanilla and not so much yellow like my last batch. But I forgot about that, so I think I might have added a little too much. What time is it there? Yes, Jan, you're exactly right. Thank you for answering. So I added a tiny bit of yellow. And then, got plenty of time. I'm gonna just tumble that yellow in first, and then I'll start deflating purposefully. All right. Just kind of mix it in a bit before you start deflating, just so you have even more time to mess with it. Someone was asking about my egg white powder, and I just scale it into my sucrose or my granulated sugar, and then I mix it in with my sugar. Oh yeah, I just said that. I scale it in and mix it really well. Sorry, I'm focusing on this yellow. I think it's okay. I think it isn't too dark for what I wanted, so I'm happy. It could be vanilla cake batter right here. I would do funfetti, but I want to maybe do some lines later and try to do like a cupcake liner. Just, I don't know how good I'll do at that, so I'm just gonna keep it simple for now. This is almost ready. Tumble is what. Yeah, exactly. I heard someone else say that when I was trying a different method, and I was like, yes, that is a great way. So this is good to go. I've got my size 9mm tip. I think it's about equivalent to a Wilton 12. I always second guess myself when I say this like every single live, I feel like. To save yourself on dishes, if you can, do your lighter colors first and then move on to your darker colors, and you can keep your same spatula if they're fairly similar colors. My dog is sleeping. Okay, so I'm just gonna close that up and keep it there until we're done with our pink. And I don't mind a little bit of yellow getting into this. I'm just gonna do I want it dark or light? Dark pink or light pink? Thank you, Cosme. Steffi, what's a guaranteed way to avoid streaking? That's a really good question, Steffi. I feel like tumbling the batter is, someone said light pink. Okay, so I'm just gonna do one drop. We're gonna do a lighter pink. Make sure I get as much yellow off them as possible. So, in order to make sure you don't get streaking, some colors are more prone to it. So I feel like purples and dark blues seem to be more prone to streaking than other colors. And I honestly would say doing this tumbling motion where you're not deflating it and you're just trying to get the color around with your powder like I did with my yellow. This is, not a powder, but it's still the same premise. So I'm just kind of tumbling it around and around and around. And then you have a little bit more time to kind of ooze it in, not ooze it, but like smear it in, I guess, without overworking it. But honestly, it's hard. It takes a little bit of practice getting used to it. And I'm always just like this constantly instead of deflating. You might even do that the entire time. Oh, I like the light pink choice. Thank you. I have a little bit of yellow in here because of my great mixing skills. Okay, let's see. Trying to work in that yellow just so I didn't when you're doing a lighter color, I should have just gotten a new spatula. But this will be beautiful. It'll still be fine. A little bit more. It's a little bit too big of a spatula for this amount. I'm happy with this. It's gonna get into a bag with a size 6mm tip, which I'm not sure what that would be, but maybe about a Wilton 10. There we go. That's where we want it. We want it to still have volume in it, not be too runny. Okay. Let's see here. I feel like I missed. You're so oh, well, thank you. Let's see here. Is it Zoobsh? Zoobsh? Is that how you pronounce it? I feel like I'm missing some type of. Hi from Argentina. Yeah, so here's this tip. It's not super small. So it's not going to get pushed too much through your tip and get overworked, but it is smaller than my usual, so I try to definitely not overmix what's going to go into a smaller piping bag. Now, if you see the design that I showed you guys, I'm going to put the, that doesn't show it, does it? If you see this design, it is segmented, right? So the frosting is like different segments, kind of like the pumpkin macarons I just did. If you want to keep those segmentations, is that a word? Then you would want to let the first bit dry a bit and then move on to the next. So we'll see if I have enough patience for that. Yes, there's a collab for this in November. You guys should join it. Cupcake collab hosted by Majestical Macarons, Zena, and Ann May from Little Lab Bakes, and me. Oh, thank you, David. You know what? Because I don't want to put my hair on the mat. Because I am not super patient, and you know, I'm like circle club of macarons all the way. Whenever I do a little design and it semi works out, I get very happy. I have low expectations for specific designs. Okay, here we go. Let's do our vanilla cupcake base. With the lighting, it's super hard for me to see. Actually, I'm just realizing nothing a scribe can't fix. Okay. Base. My biggest issue is keeping my shape designs even throughout the entire design. So I'm like, with a big tip, you have to be careful not to have super thick areas for this one, like the cupcake, and then really thin areas. You just want to make sure you're holding your tip the same length away from the mat. And I could have definitely used a smaller tip for here, but let's see, I can see this one better. There we go. The lighting is reflecting off and making it so hard to see. I love doing these things live because then you guys can see how much effort this takes me. Because I am not a natural at these designs. I remember when I was in pastry school, always being so self-conscious about my piping, especially when we were doing like choux, all the different types of choux, Perry breast. I'm not gonna pronounce any of them correctly, but it just was, you know, it takes practice and it doesn't come naturally to me. Okay, there are my bases. This one's the best. I'm gonna start heating this up to 300 and then I'll drop down. So I'm just going to pipe these. I was thinking, how cool would it be if you were to mix your batter a little bit and then do, you know how floral cupcakes are so popular right now? Just to do something fun like florals on top, like it's buttercream piped out. I just don't know how you would get it to look because this is so two-dimensional and you would need more of a 3D look for that. But I was like, oh, that would, I'm sure like Fred or someone, Melinda can do that design for us. Okay. Should I blow on it? Let's just try to like let it cool a little bit. Oh, I keep getting my thing stuck. Okay. It says, would it be a light tumble? So Steffi, you're saying that do you, first of all, Leah asked if I always do French method, and yes, I do. And Nazanin, hello. Thanks for stopping by. Not sure if you're still here, but hello. Okay, and then, so, yes, Caroline, join the collab. But did you think I need to get... So Marla, I feel like you definitely want to make sure you're comfortable with dividing your, or actually you could just do one color. You don't need to be that technically savvy to do that pumpkin design. If you're not splitting your batter, it's pretty much the same as circles, you're just waiting a little bit longer. But if you're having trouble piping, then definitely practice more with circles first. Okay, let's see if I waited long enough, guys. I'm just not patient enough on these things. So I'm not going to take my scribe this time. I'm just going to keep it kind of all natural and have it have lines if they stay. Trying to, it's so hard to be patient. But if you can see the definite division between the frosting layers, and that kind of just makes it look more like you piped it up in a circle like a real cupcake. Yes, Fred and Melinda really do need to do it. I feel like someone had a question that I was gonna, oh, Steffi, would it be a light tumble? Because I feel like when I do it, the batter is at a perfect piping consistency before I purposefully start to deflate. Thank you, Gail. Hello. Yeah, Steffi, if you need to, if your batter tends to deflate really fast, then you might need to, you started using egg white powder, didn't you, Steffi? You might need to whip your meringue to a little bit stiffer if it deflates too fast. Yes, Rachel, depending on the size of your design, smaller tips are good. So this one is the usual one I use, which is a 9mm tip or a Wilton 12. And then this is a little bit smaller, and this is a 6mm tip or equivalent to a Wilton 10, I think. And it's really up to you and how much control you want over your batter. I don't like using a super small tip because my batter always gets overworked when I do so. Okay, we're gonna do one more little top, and then we'll do some of our royal icing. So let me cut off all the tips. So I got these cute little Borderlands Bakery. She sells these cute little clips that keep your royal icing from getting out. Remember, we're testing this out here today, and I'm not sure this is gonna work. It might crack because I'm not even gonna dry the royal icing that I am putting on here. Excuse me. These are compostable piping bags. So far, I love them. But I still feel bad using single-use things. But because I wanted a really small tip, I'm gonna do these compostable ones today. Make sure when you cut the tip off of any type of plastic, you get it away from your batter as soon as possible so it doesn't get in your food somehow. Thank you so much for the Sugar Art affiliate code. Oh, you're welcome. Min, you're welcome. I use Wilton 12 normally, but want to try shapes after. Yes, Rachel, shapes are so fun. And if you do a bigger one, you don't need super small tips. Yeah, compostable bags. I mean, I hope that they really do compost. Like, I can't put them in my compost here in Portland, but I'm just hoping that it does help in some sense. I usually love my Flower Girl. Flower Girl. Piping bags. I try to keep things organized, and I still don't succeed. So I just went straight up on this one so that they aren't going to need to have an inverse on them. Let's pipe on some royal icing sprinkles and see how they work. I'm going to take this off now that I can. And we'll pipe some on and rest them just in case this doesn't work. So let's see. Should we do like sprinkle, like dot sprinkles, or jimmy kind of things? Lines, like little jimmies, or like tiny little non-parallels? Dots. Thank you for being the first one. Dots it is. I might have not cut this enough. Anyone ever do that? Okay, dots. I love the little dot sprinkles. They add so much fun texture. So when you're doing royal icing, what I've discovered thus far in my trials with it is that you don't want it to be too heavy of a design on top of your mac batter, or else it's gonna crack your batter no matter how much you let it dry. So you wanna make sure it's something small, like, you know, writing a very fine word on it to customize your macaron in really thin letters, doing some sprinkles, doing an outline. Like you just have to make sure that it's just not too heavy and you're doing super small details. I'm sure you guys, you're so creative, you can come up with tons of stuff. So this is, here we go. Can you guys even see this? Sorry if it's not. I wish I could like zoom you in. I'll move my camera closer in just to see how we do. These are so cute. I'm gonna be sad if they don't turn out. Dots was a good choice. Nancy, dots were a good choice. Why do the royal icing pre-bake? Great question. If I can bake this right off, then it can just save some time. You don't have to let them dry after. Baking them on makes them extra sturdy too. So when you can freeze these macarons really easily afterwards. You can freeze even if you don't wait. Like even if you were to do them afterwards, you can still freeze royal icing once it's dry, but this just helps make sure that it is, this is yellow, sorry. This makes certain that it's like baked on really nice, so it's not gonna, what am I saying? Like crumble off. How do you make your royal icing? I have Chef Rubber Meringue Powder. And I'll show you guys, I have it right over here. You could definitely do your own sprinkles, like real sprinkles. You could do, make your own royal icing sprinkles and then put them on dried. You know, you don't have to do this. That's how they look so far. And again, I am not certain that this is going to work without resting it. I think this is pink. Let's add some pink dots. Do a little bit bigger of a, might have been too big. So these are sassy pink colors, and the other one was a rose pink. Who thinks these are gonna crack? It's putting something wet on top of your batter. Maybe I should rest it. I'm getting second thoughts. This is how I operate, you guys. I'm always second guessing. They're just so cute, I want them to work. Okay. So, let's see here. Some positive vibes. Yay! Thank you. This is the meringue powder I use. And then I also really like Chef Master Deluxe Meringue Powder. And that's what I use. Well, they won't be very cute if they crack, right? Should we just put them in like I said I was going to? Let's do it. I'll do the rest of the other ones and we'll rest them, so hopefully something will turn out. We're gonna put them in. All right. When I put on flowers, 15 minutes on the clock, and then let's get into this one and I'll answer your questions after that. You guys still see? Okay. I've got like a ton of blue on here. Okay. Make sure that's clean surface. Okay, they're gonna bake now. We'll see how it goes. This is the problem when you only have like 4 on your template. You can't move your template around until you finish the whole design. And then with something like you're waiting for each little layer, it takes longer. I don't know about you guys, but the more I fuss with my batter, the smaller my feet are. So, not ideal to not work with your template as it, like try to get the best of your template without having to do this. But because of my lighting, I can't even see my template underneath. It's too shiny. So it's getting a little bit out of the lines. Okay, and I'll show you guys. Ooh, feet are starting to develop. Let me show you guys in my oven. Oh, I forgot to decrease temperature. All right, let me show you. Oh my. Feet are starting to develop. No cracks as of yet. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. You're a little further away, but let's just do this. I'm gonna keep piping. Again, it's really hard to see the template. Okay. So far, so great. You didn't turn your oven down. No, yeah, I forgot to turn it down. So hopefully it didn't ruin it. Let's just see if I can do this without resting. No, it's better if you rest it a bit. Even when you bake it, like I didn't rest them long enough. If you really want a clean line, you need to rest it till it's pretty dry to keep those lines, which I didn't do today just for the sake of time. But if you want it to be completely sectioned, you need to wait longer than I did today in that first tray for sure. It doesn't take too long, but it really does depend on your environment. So if you live in a pretty dry environment, even today, Portland's not too humid. You probably only have to wait about 7 to 10 minutes and then pipe the next. But due to time, I mean, that's a lot of layers to wait on the live. So we'll see. Not gonna do that fully now, but I do wanna show you guys. The feet are like really developing. Can you see that? Is my camera super dirty? So far, so good. Okay. Is that a convection toaster? Yes. So Susan, this is an Oster convection toaster oven, and it is amazing. It hasn't let me down. It does not fit a half sheet tray. I just want to reiterate that because I've had a lot of people purchase them and realize that it doesn't bake normally, but it does come with a crumb tray, which is a good thing that you can bake on. The crumb tray, you can fit a silicone mat on or cut a silicone mat to size and use that, or parchment, whatever you prefer. Okay. And I haven't tried again with I haven't tried to do double trays yet. I've done it once before when I put them just in at the same time, like no waiting at all, and that did not work because there's lack of airflow on that bottom rack. There's not enough space in between them, right? So you get no airflow going up to that bottom rack, that middle rack, whatever you want to say. So that doesn't work. But if you do like the baking hack video that I have on my YouTube channel, shows that when you like alternate the baking, that can help sometimes. And you can just put in the first tray for half the time, and then I like to put that new tray down and then put the tray that's in the oven first, bring it down because it already has that covering and the feet are starting to develop. Then you put a new tray in on the top so it has the airflow it needs, if that makes sense. Watch the video. If I'm losing it. I'm not talking very well. So yeah, okay. Yes, there's a collab, cupcake collab. I just want to reiterate, it's gonna be fun. There's so many different things you could do with this. Like I said, how fun would it be to do like not macaronage some of your batter as much and then do florals or something. There's like a lot of things you could do. Can you see that my patience has dwindled? My patience has dwindled. All right. Let me test. Still a little bit time to bake. I put it for 15 minutes and there's 6 minutes left to bake. I was thinking filling these with birthday cake, macaron, birthday cake filling, just because it seems apropos. Why macarons less? Oh, so if you wanted, you know, when you do like rosette macarons and you want them to keep their shape, that's why you would macaronage less, because you would want like a floral. Like if you got your star tip and did a floral buttercream topping, then you'd want it to keep that shape. So you'd want to macaronage less and keep it pretty thick so it could do that. You guys, it didn't crack, but my question is, will the royal icing balls come off? You know what I mean? Like, are they going to... I didn't think of that part of the design, because when I did the last ones, they were jimmies, like straight, and the balls ball up. So will they kind of like peel off this time, even though they're baked? Does that make sense? We'll see. All right. Oh, burn myself. I'm gonna do one more minute because I didn't turn the oven down quick enough. It baked faster. I love yellow and pink together. Okay. Let's let these cool, and then we'll look at them more in detail. And then I'll look at your guys' questions. The frosting's super cool because you can keep it super, you know, it doesn't have to be smooth. It can have that texture to it, and it makes it look even more realistic. I think I have enough batter for one more cupcake. Let me try to do two, just so it's even. 1, 2, 3, oh wait, one more. I have a lot more yellow, to be honest. My son had his birthday just a couple days ago, and he has this elaborate design for his cake when if I get together a party for him, and he wants cupcakes on top of his cake. And I'm like, maybe he can settle for cupcake macarons then, because these might be cute. These might be super cute. As you can see, I'm not waiting at all, because I want to get these sprinkles on. All right. Here are our second tray. Still letting the other ones cool. They're still not completely dry. It's gonna go a little bit faster this time. Again, you can put your own sprinkles on it, homemade sprinkles. You could use, you know, any type of sprinkle if you don't want royal icing decor. The whole thing with royal icing is that you don't have to then, it dries it on top of it. You don't have to decorate afterwards. It saves a step of like waiting for it to dry. If you're already waiting for your macarons to dry. As we saw just now, we didn't even have to let this dry on it. For my other oven, I'm gonna let these dry though, because my gas oven isn't as reliable. How many people am I frustrating by not like doing the same pattern on every single one? My brain is not as organized as many of you. I feel like I've seen a lot in my time, and I am not as organized. I'm very sporadic. Nobody's gonna it's okay if you say that I'm driving you nuts by not having a specific design. I've seen Katrina from Sugar Devotion use this technique a lot, and she'll do like her little eye details with it, or like little whiskers or something, but super small details. She's the best. So talented. I've also seen Faye use royal icing before baking. So she is always thinking outside the box and doing amazing things. I love her designs. This is French blue from the Sugar Art. I love it. And again, you just have to, because someone was asking about streaks, you know, you just have to keep agitating your royal icing until it gets smooth, because this is another one that can get streaky until it's completely dissolved into the liquid, into your frosting or royal icing. Okay guys, we're gonna look at the other macarons and see how they did after I do pink. Sorry this is taking so long. Sprinkles on top of each other. Okay. Almost done. If you have some sprinkles getting away from themselves, you can always get a scribe, and just like with macaron batter, even it out too. Okay? I'm gonna let these dry. Let's look at the ones that are already baked. Turn off that darn fan. Let's see if I baked them all the way through, because I baked them a lot less than usual. A little bit soft on the bottom. I should let them completely cool. So that means I should have baked a tiny bit longer, but they're not like a lost cause. But there is our cupcake macaron We've got little feet all the way around, but they are tiny little feet, right? Let's see if I can get you guys up a little bit. Okay, so if you're doing cupcakes, you know, on the last design, that's the thumbnail right now for this live, I did little faces on here, but I think I'm gonna keep these sans face, and I just gotta figure out if I'm good enough. Like, I'll definitely try to outline it, but I don't know if it will look just too much if I try to do straight like lines like this, like a cupcake liner. You know what I'm saying? So lines up it. I might try to do that, but me and the artistic sense is, you know, it goes a little scary trying to do more. Sometimes less is better with my art skills. But there. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do some lines up to look like a cupcake liner, and that will be it. And then I'll fill it with some birthday cake frosting, and then so I'll fill it a lot so it stands up, and then we can put in a candle up like this when it's standing and filled. Isn't that cute? You made your own custom sprinkles and everything. Like, possibilities are endless when you make everything from scratch. But it's so fun for me. I feel like that is a super, I don't know, easy thing for someone who's not very good at character macarons, but it's still like cute and fun and easy. Okay, so let's see here. What did I miss? Cupcakes, cupcakes, cupcakes. The convection toaster oven, yes. So the temperature I baked for the convection toaster oven was 300, and then I dropped down to 275 when, like 2 minutes after I put them in, because I forgot right away. Tina, thank you so much. They look adorable. Oh yay, I'm so glad you like them. Oh, I'm good at agitating. Agitating. David, are you more of like a very specific method of doing something and do it the same every time? Do you have edible markers? Yeah, I do. William, I do. I have some really thin ones too, and then some thicker ones. So I might be really, because, yeah, maybe do a really thin one and then do a thicker line after. I'm always just, it's hard to commit to drawing on it, you know, because I'm like, I don't want to ruin what I just did. As you can see, I can't decide what to do, but that's a great idea, William, is edible marker. I've got these ones from Chef Master that I love, which have a thinner tip on one side and then a thicker on the other. And then I have a really fine thin tips from Bean and Butter Bake Shop, which is an online bake shop that has a ton of stuff. But I don't know where they are right now. I don't want you guys to have to look at me diving through my junk drawer. Okay. Helny, hello. Thanks for being here. I know it's crazy different timing there. If they had edible pencils, right? I would love an edible pencil. If there's a person thinking they can invent that, do it. That's the good thing about royal icing. I mean, you can kind of see if you take it off a Mac because of like the wetness, but if you have pretty thick royal icing decor, you can let it dry and then scrape it off if you don't like it. But I feel like with the cupcake liner idea, an outline might not look the best. It might be better to do the pen, edible pen like William suggested. Let's see here. I'm good. Okay. Any other questions we have here? Let me see if I can get more off now that they're dried here. So now this is cooled completely. If you can see, it is not coming off the mat. So definitely let your macarons cool completely before, this one's bigger, before you peel them off your mat. There we go. So cute. Cupcakes for life. Now I want a real cupcake though. Did you make your royal icing recipe? Yes, I have it in my, I think it's in my Macaron ebook. I use meringue powder, so I think it's about 16 grams of meringue powder per 50 grams of royal icing, and then 210 grams of confectioner sugar. I know, don't we all just want cupcakes now? We all just want, we deserve cupcakes, guys, after this. This one's a little bit. I think they're adorable. That's it. I'm gonna let the other ones dry, and let's see here. These definitely baked right in, so they're not gonna come off. I was a little worried they were gonna kind of get scraped off because they were protruding a bit, but they will not. They're nice and baked on. I feel like that's one of the biggest benefits to baking on the royal icing is that they're really well protected after baking them into your macaron. Is meringue powder the same thing? No, great question. So here's my egg white powder. It is 100% egg white, right? And then we've got just dried egg whites. And then here we have meringue powder, which has more stuff in it. It has, let's see, dried egg whites, cornstarch, leavening, salt, cellulose gum, Arabic gum, artificial flavoring. You don't want to put meringue powder into your macarons. A lot of people can't find egg white powder, so they use this. And for some it works, I'm not gonna lie. But for others, they just get really brittle macarons when they use this because of all the other ingredients. Now, somebody asked me in one of the comments of a previous video if I could make macarons from a box. I don't remember who it was, so let me know if you're here. But I ordered some. It's coming tomorrow, so the next live will be macarons, like a pre-made macaron box. And I think you just, kind of like when I just use egg white powder to make my macarons, like straight egg white powder and water, whip it up to a stiff peak and use that like it is like liquid egg whites. That's what this is. You just add water to a mixture. Victoria, I think is her name. Victoria, if someone knows it, Victoria Sweets, and she has the most beautiful pictures on Instagram, beautiful ganache fillings, and just super talented. She's had on her stories one time macarons made from a box mix, and she nailed it. I don't know if I will, but they were beautiful. I don't know how they tasted, but I'm very interested in knowing. So that will be our next experiment in 2 weeks when we do another live. All right. Anyone have any questions before we call it quits? Yes, no, baby, so. Am I delayed? Or is there nobody watching? I'm just joking. Oh, the batter's falling out. Is it okay to leave batter in the bag so long? Leah, I don't suggest it. Like, this pink is done. There's like a tiny bit left. This yellow has a fairly good amount that I'm gonna pipe right onto my other tray and just bake with my cupcakes, even though I don't suggest that because they're different sizes. but I also don't want to keep the oven on for 2 more bakes. So I don't suggest leaving, especially if it's a French method, don't leave your batter in the piping bag too long. It starts to break down. If you're using Swiss or Italian method, those are a little bit more forgiving. Your meringue is sturdier and it can withstand more time. So it's a little less time sensitive than French method, and you can probably leave your batter in the piping bag for half an hour. Some people use French. They just make, and they keep it in they keep the batter in the piping bags for a long time while they do character macarons that are super intensive. And that's for a long time, so it does work. I'm just saying that I don't recommend it. Can you dip the underside of the macaron shell in chocolate? For sure, you could definitely do that. You could dip this underside in, and then you're gonna have to make sure that you warm it up a little bit or something, or it's not completely set before you sandwich it together so it sandwiches nicely. If you're using like a super wet filling, perhaps that would help even, not have it saturate through the shell as quickly. I'm not sure though. No questions from me, but thank you for spending time with us. Yay! Oh, David, it's my pleasure, especially when they come out. I'm so happy, and I'm so happy to spend the day with you guys and chatting with people. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, it's a pleasure. My dad sent these beautiful flowers back here. Aren't these pretty? I'm like in a very fall, beautiful sunflowers, and like, I don't know, a berry. Should I eat it or no? I don't know what these things are. Maybe they'll bloom, maybe they're a bud. Okay, see you on the next live. I'm just totally like keeping this way too long, huh? Okay, I will update people on my stories here, on my Instagram, of how the second tray turns out. But to recap, these worked. I didn't have to rest anything. I didn't rest the royal icing on the batter. I didn't rest the batter before I piped the royal icing, and they came out cute. And I can't wait to fill them and eat them with a candle. I blew on it. This one's definitely mine. All right, guys. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Sophie. Aren't they pretty? All right, friends. Talk to you later. Oh, I gotta turn it off. Sometimes I wish someone else was here to turn things off so I wouldn't embarrass myself for longer. Bye. Bye, guys. Thanks for being here. You too, guys. Have a great day. How do I stop it? Why is this so hard? Bye. Bye.